The weight of listening. The voicemail played at 1:11 a.m., but Daniel had deleted it weeks ago, and his mother had been dead for 23 days. He sat on the edge of his unmade bed, phone trembling in his hand, the screen casting a sickly blue glow across his bare feet. Rain tapped the window like impatient fingers. Outside, the city slept. Inside, the air was too still, too thick, like the walls were holding their breath. He hadn't meant to check his messages, hadn't opened the app in a month, but insomnia had gnawed through his skull like rats in the walls, and his thumb moved before his mind could stop it. Now her voice filled the room clear, close, frayed at the edges with fatigue. "Daniel, I can't find the light. It's so dark down here. Please, just listen." He dropped the phone. It clattered on the hardwood, screen cracking, but the voice didn't stop. "You always turned off the lamp too soon." He lunged for it, jabbed the volume button. Nothing. The sound came from the air itself. Nasa, wet, as if spoken through water. He hadn't visited her grave, hadn't gone to the memorial, hadn't answered the hospice calls, because the last time he saw her, he'd said, "I'll be back tomorrow," and walked out to buy cigarettes, and never returned. She died alone at 3:47 a.m., nurse said. Lights off. Room cold. Now the room felt cold. He stood, arms crossed over his chest, breath fogging slightly in the air. He hadn't turned on the AC. Windows were closed. From the hallway a soft click, like a light switch flipping. He froze. The hallway light had burned out weeks ago. He walked to the door, peered out. Darkness, but the air, warmer there, smelled faintly of lavender and antiseptic perfume, the hospital soap. He stepped into the hall, the bathroom. Door closed when he came home, stood open. He hadn't touched it. Inside, the mirror reflected only blackness behind him. But the sink was full of water, still, clear. He hadn't run the tap. He reached out, touched the surface. Warm. He pulled back. Water rippled, stilled. Then a drop fell from the ceiling. Plink. But the ceiling was dry. Another drop, and another. He backed out, closed the door, leaned against it. His phone buzzed on the floor. He didn't pick it up. It buzzed again, and again, persistent, insistent. He finally grabbed it. One. New voicemail. From his own number. He pressed play. Silence. Then a wet breath. Then his own voice. Hoarse, broken. "She's not the only one down here." He threw the phone against the wall. It shattered. Screen died. Silence returned. Too deep. Too complete. He walked to the living room. Sat on the couch. Pulled a blanket over his shoulders. Needed to wait for dawn. Just wait. But the clock on the microwave read 1:12. It had read 1:11 an hour ago. He checked his watch. 1:11. His breath hitched. From the kitchen a soft drip, drip, drip. He hadn't left the faucet on. He stood, walked slowly. The sink was dry, but the floor beneath it, damp, footprints, small, bare. Leading from the sink to the hallway. He followed them. They stopped at the closet he never used. The one that still held her winter coat, her scarf, the shoes she wore to chemo. The door was ajar. He hadn't opened it. He pushed it wider. Inside, the coat hung neatly. But the scarf lay on the floor, coiled like a snake. He bent to pick it up, cold, wet. He dropped it. The coat moved, not from air. From breath. Something stood inside it, wearing it. He stepped back, heart hammering. The coat turned toward him, no face. Just fabric stretched over absence. A whisper came from the sleeves. "You stopped listening." He ran to the bedroom, locked the door, pressed his back against it. Silence, then a soft knock. Tap, 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 tap. On the door. Not loud, patient. "Daniel," his mother's voice said, muffled but clear. "Open the door. I'm tired." He slid down the wood, knees to his chest. covered his ears, but the voice came from inside his skull. You left the lamp off. He squeezed his eyes shut. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. The knocking stopped. Silence. Then dash. The doorknob turned, slowly, smoothly. He didn't move. The door opened. Cold air rushed in the room, darkened not from lack of light, but from something swallowing it. He looked up. His mother stood in the doorway, pale, eyes sunken, hospital gown stained with damp, but her smile, too wide, too many teeth. You came back, she whispered. But you're not him. He recoiled. What? You buried the wrong Silence, she said. The real one followed you home. She stepped forward. The floor didn't creak. He scrambled to the window, yanked it open. Rain hit his face. He looked down. The fire escape was empty, but on the railing his own handprint, fresh, wet. He hadn't gone outside. He turned. She stood beside the bed, now holding his phone. Screen lit, playing a voicemail. His own voice, whispering, I hear her too. She handed him the phone. He took it. His fingers passed through. He looked down. His hands were translucent, faint, like smoke in moonlight. He touched his face, felt nothing in the window's reflection. The room held two figures, one solid, one fading. His mother stood beside the solid one, her hand on his shoulder. The fading one stood alone. She smiled. Now, you listen, she said. The phone died. The room fell into darkness, but the silence was gone. Now it breathed, and in the hollow hours between 1 and 4 a.m., the dead don't speak. They echoed. Daniel sat on the bed, didn't move, didn't sleep, just listened, and somewhere, deep in the walls, something listened back.